We may move the sound up and down here a little bit as it goes, but appreciate everyone being here tonight. If you don't mind, let's all stand here. Pat Bodenhammer is going to give us a prayer to start the evening. Immediately after the prayer, we'll remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, let's pray. Dear gracious God, thank you for this beautiful evening that we can come out because we care about our county. Lord, we just ask that you bless our county and help us just do things just to show the world what a great place that Randolph County is. Father, we give you thanks for those who are serving in our military, who are in far-off places. Bless them and keep them safe. And Lord, remind us daily that we have this freedom of speech, we have a freedom to vote, we have a responsibility to be good citizens because of the many lives that were lost for that reason. So be with us now, help us keep cool heads and kind hearts. In your heavenly name we pray, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Thank everyone for being here. We'd like to start with just a recognition of our sponsors. Thank you to the Star Herald, John Allen French. Thank you for getting this initiative going so we could get to know these candidates and make educated decisions when it comes to the ballot box. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce. We're happy to serve as a mediator in these events and between these political and business issues. It is our pleasure and our honor, and we'll be here for many years to come doing just that. Thank you to the James Ranch for the facility usage. They didn't have to do this. They care about the outcomes of these elections, so they're putting their money where their mouth is. So thank you, the James Ranch. As a quick aside, I think if someone will promise to grade this road out here, they'll probably get ahead in this race right from the gate. So. At this time, we want to recognize all the elected officials in Randolph County and Pocahontas and all the towns and communities of Randolph County. So if you are elected official or staff of elected office, please stand right now, and we want to appreciate you for all that you're doing here for our county and our community. It is a labor of love and sacrifice. We understand that, so thank you. Next, these gentlemen up here tonight on the stage, they are putting themselves before you to earn your vote, and that is not easy. So we need to give them a round of applause for sticking their necks out there. Thank you for putting in the time, the effort, and the sacrifice to lead us and to serve our county. And this race is important. This is the big chair in our county, and none so sit in that chair as well as our former judge that stepped down in 2020 for 15 years, from 2005 to 2020. Judge David Jansen made it look easy. He's going to have hard shoes to fill, and Mr. Barnett, I know you're doing a great job there, so thank you for stepping in for Judge Jansen, but we really just want to recognize Judge Jansen right now and thank him for all the service he gave to this county for 15 years. Okay, after this event is over, there are several candidates here from a number of different races. So we hope that you will be willing to stick around and get to know these people. I think that we're going to have an event up at the Ranch House, which is just the next building over, and food will be served, and there'll be entertainment, and just all the time that you want to take to meet these candidates and to get the message straight from them on why they're running and what they can do for you as a citizen. So during the debate here, just going to go through a quick run through of the format, and what we're trying to do is we're not trying to start an argument here. We're trying to help these candidates and the electorate get to know each other, right? So there are issues that these candidates disagree on, And we want them to speak their mind, and we want the best plan and the best candidate to be revealed in this process. But we don't want any mudslinging. I heard a good statement one time: if you sling mud, you're going to lose ground and both parties get dirty. So we don't want that. We wanted to help with this. The election is in November, but there's a primary fast approaching here. So I'm just going to read through the upcoming dates that are important here for these candidates in these elections that are coming in 2022. The deadline to apply to register to vote has just passed as of Monday. It was April 25th. So hope you were able to register to vote by April 25th. Early voting begins May 9th and will be conducted at First Baptist Church. Polls will be open between the hours of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday. Early voting ends 5 p.m. on the Monday prior to the election. Okay? If at any time you want to hear this again, please contact the county clerk's office, and they'll be happy to give you these dates. May 20th is the deadline for the county clerk to receive county-to-county transfers of registered voters allowed to vote in the election. May 23rd is the last day for a voter to participate in early voting. Early voting closes at 5 p.m. This is also the deadline to register to vote to participate in the primary election runoff, which in all probabilities, it's likely that there'll be a runoff. May 24th is Election Day. Polling places will be open around the county, and polls will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. June 14th, early voting begins for the primary election runoff and will be conducted at the First Baptist Church. Polls will be open from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Early voting ends the day before the election at 4:30 p.m. June 20th is the last day for voters to participate in the primary election runoff early voting. Polls close at 4:30 p.m. And lastly, June 21st is primary election runoff day. Polls around the county will open at 7:30 a.m. They'll close at 7:30 p.m. Again, after the debate, we'll invite you to the ranch house up the road for food, drinks. I think there's even going to be some musical entertainment. Is that right, Amy? Okay, great. So let's have some introductions here. At the moderator's table, we have Sydney Stevens and Mike Thompson as moderators. They're going to be asking questions tonight and keeping the peace. Thank you again to John Allen French. He's going to be here taking pictures and booking this as for the Star Herald, so that's good. Thank you, Amy Lynch, for hosting this event. We very much appreciate it. Todd Baltz producing the audio and video, and I'm Mark Holt. Thank you for allowing us to come up here tonight and to help this process take place. The candidates will introduce themselves. The format for this is the candidates just drew the cards for their order. They'll be in this order all night, so this is just a random way to make sure that it's fair, and we'll start with the seat 1 and we'll end with seat 8. And anytime there's a numbered question that the moderators have, they'll address it to that number and thereby ask that candidate a question.
My name is Paul Carr. I'd like to thank everyone that has come out this evening to listen and learn about each of the candidates here tonight. If you don't know me, a small amount of my resume is printed on the cards my wife's been passing out here and there. Can everyone hear this? And on my Facebook page, there are countless points, knowledge, and experience in between each of these sentences. I'm sorry? How's that? Okay. Let me start over again on that. If you don't know me, a small amount of my resume is printed on my cards and on my Facebook page. My wife has so graciously passed some of those out. And inside of all those sentences, there are countless points, knowledge, and experience that goes in between every bit of that. We don't have a lot of time to talk about that. Back in 2008, 9, 2011, 2017, I stood beside every mayor, all law enforcement personnel, and emergency responders in this county when we encountered ice storms and numerous floods. I believe 3 large floods. With one goal in mind, and that was the safety of the traveling public. And that was my responsibilities in that time, to deal with the state police, the Corps of Engineers, and the National Guard. So I'm well versed in those things. Many of us were functioning with very little sleep. I mentioned David Jansen. The man didn't even make it home for like 4 or 5 days. For those of you that do know me, you know my dedication to the community, the county, and the state of Arkansas. I'm here tonight to tell you about my passion for community service and volunteerism, and for those of you that do the same things, there's nothing like the feeling that you gather after cleaning up an old cemetery, church, or restoring an old building. Those are something that my wife and I are very passionate about. I'm a member of the, I thought this said 2 minutes originally, did it not? Okay. Some of the important things that I want to talk about tonight will be in some of these questions, and there will be a lot of discussion about these things. One of them is the connection to I-57. I've been trying not to get out in front of this thing, but it's time. We're real close. We're headed for that. We're headed for a possibility of the bypass getting around Thomasville. Huge problem with our commercial traffic in our town. The mayor has joined in on this recently. We've been working on this for many years. I'm going to get back out in front of that again.
Time's up.
Okay. I appreciate all y'all's opportunity to get up and visit with you. And thank you.
Mr. Barber's next.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. It's a blessing to have all of y'all and for us to come together so that you can choose your candidate for Randolph County Judge. I also want to thank Mr. James for this facility here and the other people that's helping with this. You know, as a county judge, it's a big shoes to fill where David has left. A county judge's responsibility is a big piece of pie. The county roads are a piece of that pie, as well as budgeting the county money. And as I talk to you later on tonight, I want you to know that I understand what it takes to run the county all together, not just one part of it, but all together. I've been on the quorum court for the last 3.5 years, and I was appointed to the budget committee. And I've worked hand in hand trying to service the best we could the people of Randolph County. And sometimes we did achieve our goals and sometimes we didn't. But we got to remain in our budget. And it takes a lot of work from the quorum court and also the county judge, and I take that to heart. 30 seconds. Man, it goes by quick up here. And I am a talker, so y'all will get used to that, I'm sure. I want y'all to think about me. Think seriously about the overall big piece of pie tonight, not just one individual thing. And remember to go vote. May the 9th, early voting. May the 24th is the day to vote, and I appreciate y'all, and vote for Randy Barber for Randolph County Judge. Thank you.
Well, folks, my name's Larry Rogers. I'm also a candidate for county judge. I'd like to take just a moment to thank all of you for coming and for the James Ranch. I was raised up in Cherokee Bay, and Mr. Wade, he was up that way and taught school, and some of my family was telling me about going to school there. So I've got a long history of some of this family, And I'd like to do something very special. I can't help this. I'd like to do it. How many veterans do we have here today? Would you raise your hands? Thank you. God bless you for your service. I remember some time ago as thinking about all the things that happened, and Randolph County was good to me. The only thing that I ever won as far as the competition was concerned, they come out with numbers, a lottery. And when the draft was sent out, one day I went to the mailbox and I was number 6 in the county, so thank you. But anyway, seriously, I see things that I'd like to do. I have some things that I would like to see that I feel like could be an improvement. I'm not here to talk about against anybody about our former county judges, because I appreciate both of them, think a lot of them. And I see some things, though, that I would like to do, some things that I'd like to upgrade. And I believe that we could get that done and get it done within the budget. These things that we talk about, we see, I know the gravel roads is not all they are, but it is important. When you decide you want to go somewhere, whatever the road conditions are, that affects your vehicles, affects the things, the maintenance and all the stuff that goes with it. And I see some things that we could do I'd like to get busy with, and I would appreciate your support. And I want to thank you for coming and giving me an opportunity to come. To me, it's an ambition that I want to make improvements. I'm kind of a leader, and I believe I was born that way. Not long ago, I was just looking around and thinking about the things that, as I look out there, and
Mr. Rogers, your time is up.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name's Ben Wicker. I'm also running for county judge on the independent ticket. I just wanted to start off saying I'm a lifelong resident in Randolph County, and I have raised my children here. I had the opportunity to work for 2 county judges, where I learned to run road graders, build bridges, and many other jobs. I've been working for public for the majority of my life, and in 2010 I went to work for the city of Pocahontas. In 2013 I became supervisor. I've been in charge of $1 million budgets each year, and I've overseen over $1 million in asphalt since 2013, and I've purchased over $1 million in equipment. I had the opportunity to work by the side of 3 mayors, where we built roads, bridges, parking lots, and a number of drainage issues that we worked on. I've had the opportunity to work with FEMA through 3 catastrophic floods and 1 tornado, and just many jobs that we've had to do for our public. That's why I feel that I'm the man for this job, and I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, and thank you for your support.
Well, good to see everybody here tonight, and again, thanks to the James Ranch and all of you guys for coming out. My name is Chad Burden, and yeah, I'm running for county judge just like all the rest of us. So tonight's about getting to know us, right? So for me, first and foremost, I'm Christian. Okay, that's my number 1 as far as I'm concerned. I'm also conservative, and I'm a constitutionalist. I've been spending the last year and a half studying the Constitution, both the federal and the state. I've lived in Randolph County now for 25 years. I moved here in the spring of '97, and I have a degree in engineering at ASU in Jonesboro. Worked my way through that to earn my degree. Also have, married, and we have 9 kids. I know some of you guys have heard that already, but we have 9 kids. We have another one on the way, actually. Again, I have 16 years of experience in engineering and maintenance management. Okay, For the past 7 years, it'll be 7 years this coming July, I've ran my own construction business. Okay, I have a large amount of experience in purchasing and budgeting, setting budgets, maintaining budgets. I've worked with OSHA and EPA many times over the years. And I'm sure as the night goes on, we'll hear a lot about grants and things of that nature. In the corporate world, and a lot of you guys are probably familiar with it, but in the corporate world, those are referred to as capital requests or something along that line. And throughout the years, I've written dozens of those inside corporations for the ones I've worked for, dozens, if not hundreds. But so I'm very familiar with those things. Obviously, in a government setting, there'll be a little bit of change. But really and honestly, what I want to get across tonight is that I want to help this county and this community to grow and be better. And really, over my career, I've made a career of listening to people's issues and finding solutions to those problems. But again, my name is Chad Burden, and I'm running as independent, and I'd appreciate your vote in November. Thank you.
Jada, go ahead and stand up. Yeah, stand up, Jada. Now look, it's pretty good when you can get one of the other candidates' daughters to wear your sticker on their shirt. Sir, I don't know who you are over there, but I see that he has a shirt that says Jesus is the answer. And first and foremost, no matter who gets elected, whether any one of us gets elected, the answer is Jesus Christ. Amen. My name's Ben Derrick, and I'm running for your next county judge. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm thankful for my wife and my family who are here with me tonight. And I thank all of you for being here. Lastly, I'd like to thank the James Ranch and the Randolph County Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event. I grew up in a small town in South Arkansas, right outside of Hot Springs. At 17, I left home and joined the military. By 19, I had found myself in the middle of a civil war in a little country called East Timor. September 11, 2001, I found myself in northern Australia in a little town called Darwin, training with the Australian Special Forces when we got the call that the World Trade Center had been bombed. 2 days later, I found myself in a little air base in Posni, Pakistan, getting ready to go into Afghanistan for the first time. March 2003, the call was made by the president then that we would invade Iraq. In March the 28th, 2003, I executed a combat parachute jump into western Iraq to secure a foothold for follow-on forces. After 16 combat tours, 2 Purple Hearts for being wounded in combat 23 years, I hung up the uniform. Shortly after I retired, I founded my own business, and about 9 months ago, I began working also for the city of Pocahontas as the code enforcement officer and building inspector. These last 9 months have shown me that there needs to be change within our county government. Is that 30 seconds?
No, that's your 30 seconds is up.
Oh. I'm Ben Derrick. Thank you all, and thank everybody for coming.
Thank you, candidates. I'm going to move this microphone over here. This next segment is simply a all-answer question, meaning we're going to stick with the same format. The moderator is going to ask a question of candidate 1, Paul Carr, and then the same question will be asked of each candidate.
If you need the question repeated, gentlemen, we'll be happy to do that. You'll have 1 minute, and there will be no rebuttals. Why did you decide to enter this county judge's race, and what is your favorite part and least favorite part of campaigning?
The reason I decided to be a candidate for county judge is I've spent a career doing exactly this. Highway and road maintenance, administration, utility accommodation, and road construction are things that I had dealt with for countless years. The other reason that I did this is I was going to be forced to retire within a year. I didn't feel like I was meant for a lazy boy at this time. And besides, my wife wasn't going to let that happen either. So again, this is what I do. this is what I've always done, and I feel like I'm the best choice for this moment. One of my favorite things is going out and meeting the public, and I go discover where people live that I've forgot about, and I rekindle new relationships. There's not a lot of this that I don't like. I enjoy it all. Thank you.
I'd rather have this thing a little closer where I can get a little bit closer to the people. You're the reason why I chose to run for Randolph County Judge. The people. I've been a public servant almost all of my life, starting at a young age. When I was a boy working for my dad, Gene Barber, at a filling station, we serviced the public. And I've continued to do that throughout my life. And that's the reason why I decided to run in the race. My favorite part of campaigning is meeting the people and listening to y'all. I've gained so much knowledge by listening to y'all. And believe it or not, y'all have the wisdom to change what is going on in the county. My least favorite part of campaigning is paying my gas bill because it has definitely went up since I started in January. Thank you and God bless you.
Well, the reason I wanted to run for county judge is I feel like I have something to offer for the county. I'm real partial to Randolph County, Pocahontas, and all the other towns around the country. I've lived here a long time. In fact, been so long time I've been away for a couple of years, and I'd like a chance to serve you people. And I'm a mixer. I like to mix with people and talk with people, visit with them. And the only thing negative about it for me is I know people get tired of hearing politics, and I see it on their face sometimes when it's time to shut off.
The reason I wanted to run is whenever I drive the county roads and I drive through our county and I see things that are run down or roads that are degraded, I almost feel ashamed of myself for not being out there helping. And this is one of my main goals, is try to help. And I want to see more businesses and industries come into Randolph County. I want to make sure that my children, all three of my children have ample job opportunities right here at home. You know, I don't want to see my children move off somewhere. I want them right here at home with me. I love my family, and it's all about my hometown, my family right now. I'm kind of like Randy. The least favorite thing about it is spending the gas bill and the new shoes, and done wore out 2 sets of shoes, so working on my second set of tires. So, thank you.
Okay, so why am I running for county judge? Well, first and foremost, because I feel like the Lord put it on my heart to do so. And as I was contemplating that, I realized that over the years, God has given me what I see is just exactly the right amount of the kind of experience that I need to be able to run this county and run it well. And just like has already been said, and I've told you already, I have 9 kids, got another one coming. I love this county. In my career, I've traveled to a lot of different places. I've been to New York, several different places. I won't get into all of those, but I've always felt at home here in Randolph County. And I want my kids to be able to stay here. I want jobs for my kids as well as your kids. And, I want this community to grow and to prosper. Man, that thing's fast. But anyway, again, thanks.
Again, thanks everybody. I'm running because I see opportunity. Randolph County has a lot of opportunity, whether it be with our infrastructure, whether it be with business, commerce, jobs, whatever the case is. There's a lot of opportunity. I think we need a leader that can lead change. For me, I'm a very proactive, I'm an out-of-the-box thinker. I'm a very innovative solutions kind of a guy, and so that's why I'm running, because I think that I can bring solutions to some of the problems that we face here in Randolph County, and I see opportunity. Some of the best things that I like about campaigning is I like being able to, just like many of these other men have said, I like being able to speak with all of the citizens and learn and be able to build those relationships. And the least thing that I don't that I like about campaigning is campaigning. I'm not a politician, and I'm not great at campaigning. So, is my time up? Thank you all.
The question is, what are the greatest infrastructure improvements necessary in the county that you're willing to address?
One thing that we've got going in Randolph County right now is we're having a lot of broadband reaching out into the farthest portions of the community. We're connecting that. We want to work and continue working along with those utility companies that are processing and bringing us into the modern age. Want to continue working with our small municipalities in water and sewer infrastructure that they so need. Our rural areas are as deserved as our big cities. One of the huge things that I talk about is our possibility of our connection to the interstate. The interstate is being staked out at this time. The route has been chosen. There will be an interstate in most of our lifetimes. I hope I live long enough to drive on it, but it's coming. The commercial traffic relocation is another thing that I've been working on diligently. We've got in excess of 100,000 semis and commercial vehicles operating, most of those, 75 to 80% of those, right down through the middle of Pocahontas. That needs to be changed for the safety of our schools and for the traveling public and for our communities and our residential neighborhoods. So those are some of the things that I've been working on. The
Paul, your
possibilities are endless. I'm sorry. Thank you all.
Go by pretty fast, don't it, Paul? And the time does. Well, when I read this here, you know, I think of several different things that I could set up here and talk to you about tonight. But for the infrastructure, the improvement needs to be done. You know, we all see out of our eyes different places that need to be addressed on it. And I'm willing to tackle most of those problems that we're having. You know, I'm all for broadband. I'm all for having access, telephone access in all parts of the county. And we're trying to do that. As a quorum court member, we're reaching out, trying to get those places where they can make access to that, to be able to call 911 and so forth. And there's so much that we need to address. And I think I can handle that. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to see us open the doors for other factories and stuff to come in and get out and beat the bushes and see what's available out there. I think we have we're fortunate in Randolph County. We got a lot of things going for us. We got places, I know of other places that don't have gravel that's available, and we have a lot of those kind of things. And we could get set up, our roads and stuff, the infrastructure, the bridges, low water bridges, the thing that we could do. But I'd like to see factories really come in here where people have more need and want to stay here. You know, a lot of our people, when they graduate from school, college, they have to go off other places to find a job. And we have opportunity here. We just got to find it, open the door, and welcome it in, let them come in. And I'm willing to get out there and see if we can't beat the bushes to see what happens.
One thing is our water department is in bad need of help. They need, in order for our city to grow, bring in more industry, our water department is going to have help. And I think there's grants that can probably help with that. I don't know that the county can do a whole lot with it, but that is one thing that they do need help, and if we can all pull together and work together, it will make a difference. Second thing is, a young lady showed me a picture of a road a while ago that if somebody was to drive off in it probably would have totaled the car. In my opinion, there's no need in that. It needs to be fixed and fixed right. You know, and I see that all over the county. I have a friend that lives out in the middle of nowhere. If he gets a big rain, he can't get out, and if something happened, the EMS needed in there, they cannot get in. So that was that.
All right, so for infrastructure, yeah, we've heard most of the guys up here talking about. Obviously, for the county judge, the road is a big part of it, and like what Mr. Wicker was just saying, a lot of the further out roads, need attention too. It shouldn't just necessarily be the ones closest to town. For the folks who live out a little further, we need to not forget about them. Get back to some of the grading that we were doing with Pico. We all know that Pico has beat up the roads pretty good, and that's part of it. That's part of having industry here, and especially industry that goes on back roads. But we need to keep the roads maintained, and a lot of the low water bridges, areas where water collects, all that's got to be shed. Also, we have 911 issues that we're going to have to get addressed. But anyway, time's up. Thanks, guys.
The number one infrastructure problem that I would like to tackle is, Ben touched on it just a little bit, is the water situation. In the county, we're landlocked by Lawrence County rural water on every side up to the county limit, or up to the city limit sides. The city of Pocahontas right now is at 80% consumption. We're going to have to add to our treatment train, build a new treatment train. The approximate cost is $6.5 million. It's going to take at least 2 years to build. The state recently come back a couple of weeks ago and said, well, we need a new freshwater well if you're going to build a new treatment train. That's another $2 million. So what would I do, and I'm glad the mayor's here, is I would partner with the mayor so that we can find solutions. Maynard's having problems with their water. O'Kane just got $500,000 worth of grants to help with their water situation. Look, water's the source of life. If we don't have that, we can't grow, we can't expand. And I think if we can all come together and cooperate, then we can find solutions. And the mayor and the waterworks are already on it. But I think it would only help if the county would come on board and cooperate and use and combine our resources and our knowledge and be able to help do what's best for our county as a whole. So thank you all.
Next question. 2 of the most challenging duties of your elected office are employees and budget. What are your experiences with both?
There we go. Developing quality employees is what I've been doing in a management position since early 2001, 2002. I've hired and developed hundreds of employees throughout RDOT. Had a lot of good luck doing that. The key to that thing is to befriend those people take care of those people correctly, listen to their needs and their desires. So that's something that I'll continue to do, and I've had great success at that. So that thing keeps going off. Would you give that back to Joe? Our budget, there we go. I apologize, this thing is a little bit silly. Thank you.
All right, this thing's working a little bit, I can hear it. Well, on this it has two of the most challenging duties of an elected office as employees and budget. Well, for us the employees, we've been working on that and have been working on it for the past 2 years. We give an average of $3.16 an hour raise for every employee, and we give a $6,000 just this year in a retention for working during the 2020 and 21 pandemic. So we are taking care of our employees, and I will continue to take care of our employees. And as far as the budget process, it's like I said earlier, I've sat on the budget committee. I know the budgeting process, and I know how to handle the budgeting process. And I will not ask for any tax increases for the budget. Thank you.
Well, I try to work with people and they can work with me. I pastored a church for several years, and I'm used to working with the budget, and it's easy for me to kind of work along with that thing because I see where we are, see what the money we have to spend, see how much we can do and what we can do for the people. That experience has taught me a lot. And as I would agree with Randy, we look at the things, see if we can give the people that works for the county a raise, and if possible, get that done. Work with them however we can. But I've learned a lot from being able to work with people, is if you listen, go out with them, see what the needs are, and try to meet the needs. Thank you.
I'm very compassionate and caring about my employees. I try to take care of my guys. I will not send a man out to do a job that I wouldn't go do myself. With that being said, there's a lot of stuff to be done. With the money, with budgeting, I maintain over $1 million budget each year, and it sounds like a lot, but it's not whenever you got to buy equipment, make sure everybody's getting proper wages, and just maintaining the whole county and the whole city. There's not a whole lot of money there, but you just got to be careful of how you do spend it. So.
Okay. All right. So for experience as far as personnel and budgeting, for the biggest part of my career, I've been a manager in some form or fashion, whether it was in the factory, with employees that reported to me, or now owning my own business with an employee, So I understand that when it comes to dealing with employees, the best asset that any company or business has, or county, is its employees. The people who work for them, and the more that we can do to better them, whether it be at training or whatever it may be, to give them opportunity to better themselves and better their families, that's what we need to do. As far as budgeting, again, as a manager and especially as owning my own business, budgeting is critical. Okay, and so again, I've spent 21 years working with budgets and developing budgets and maintaining budgets, so this isn't anything new. So.
Well, again, working for the federal government for 23 years, I learned to pretty much make do with what you got in a lot of situations. So I'm good at being very efficient with resources and money. When it comes to the budget, I will tell you this: how would I handle it? I would handle it very easily. I have a great county treasurer sitting right there, Miss Sherry. I have a quorum court, and I would sit down with them and work through our budget issues. Now, personally, I'm officially very conservative. I'm for small government, I'm for maximum freedom, and I'm not for raising taxes. When it comes to leadership, I learned a very simple lesson as I led thousands of soldiers in the Army. If you take care of your soldiers or you take care of your employees, they'll take care of you. It's always stuck with me. I believe it. And it's always proved true, and that's exactly what I'll do if I'm elected. So thank you.
The next question, what will be your budget priorities, and have you studied the current county budget practices and revenues available to know whether your priorities are feasible or not?
Since the last question and this question are both about budgeting, I'm going to step back into that last one for just a half a second here, or however long that thing will let me. I've handled millions of dollars of construction jobs, developed and operated within a budget for over 20 years. So as a county judge, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to inherit a budget that was designed for us. And we're going to have to learn to operate inside that. My priorities will be to assist all the other elected offices to remain with and in below their budgets, and to strive to work with the other elected officials and hopefully glean from their abilities to help me also. Thank you.
Yes, I have studied the county's budget and been over it several times and looked at it. And a county judge has to work and have good communication skills with all the other departments. We are a unit of one when it comes to that, and I'm proud to stand here and with the other elected officials that we worked with, and we've been able to do that. And I will continue to work to stay within the budget guidelines. You know, I've managed a farm, I've done other things with large amount of budgeting, and I think I got what it takes to do that. And I will continue to work hard to serve the public Randolph County. Thank you.
The budget for Randolph County is $22,317,805. The probability of being able to stay into that and get the things we need to get done is very likely. And I could see where we could go to work on that immediately. And when you start, I looked at even the budget of what's maybe happened, was projected to use the $16,337,332. So that leaves quite a bit of money in there to fluctuate and get things done that we need to do. And I believe we can meet that budget for the things that I'd like to see happen. But first of all, of course, you got to help me get there to see if we can get this done. Thank you.
My budgeting priorities will be roads, equipment, and our 911. We have got to have all three, and they all got to be working well. I have studied the budget and the practices. There's a lot of things that we can do that are relatively cheap and keep a good maintenance on everything, even our buildings, the whole county, as far as that goes. And most of it can be done fairly cheap. So.
All right, so the question is, have we studied the budget? And yes, I have a copy of the Randolph County budget at my house that I've looked over on numerous occasions. As far as projects, going back to my time in different factories and not necessarily my business now, but in factories, the way that you bolster your budget is through, and without trying to steal Ben's thunder, is through the grants, and he's absolutely right that we need to incorporate some grants. That way you can utilize the grants to fund your major projects and utilize that money that would have went to that project for other areas of your budget. So incorporating those things will be a must, but at the same time, we also have to look out for where the grants are coming from and any strings that are attached to those grants. But again, thank you very much.
Yes, I've studied the budget, and I even put it on my website, ajudgeforthepeople.com. If you'd like to go look at it, you can go there and look at the 2022 budget for the county. I've studied it at length. Some of my priorities, I have many of them. But the first thing that I would do is I would sit down with all of the elected officials and all of our department heads to include the quorum court and determine what should be the priorities, and then we would begin to prioritize things from what's needed the most to what's needed, less. And listen to their input, listen to their feedback, listening to the citizens on what we need. I know roads are important. I know all of those things are important. And, in my opinion, I think it takes a team to come together and decide what's important for Randolph County, and that's exactly what I'll do if I'm elected. So thank you.
In the event of a budget shortfall, would your strategy be reducing services, increasing taxes, a combination of both, or neither?
As a state employee, I have been knee-deep in the middle of a budget shortfall a time or two, and sometimes your roads reflect that. You have to learn to do more with less. It's not always a comfortable position, but sometimes it's necessary. I'll not be in favor of any tax hikes. I'll not be in favor of any millage increases, and I will work to anticipate any shortfalls in the budget. Saving for rainy days is a very important thing to do. I know there are guidelines on how much you have to save back out of your budgets, and how much is appropriated, and all of those rules I'll get across in the very near future. Thank you.
In the event of a budget shortfall, what would your strategy be by reducing service, increasing tax, or a combination of both? Well, one thing that I would strongly do was get into the budget and see if there's something in there that we can cut out of the budget, that we can lower the taxes. We're only allowed to use 90% of our budget by state law. That's all we're allowed. So we've got a safety net of that for Randolph County. And I plan on staying within that budget and working with the other elected officials like I have been doing for the time there. And we've been through budget shortfalls before in Randolph County. And the quorum court and the county judge done a good job of working through them. And I expect I will be able to do the same. Thank you.
Well, if I were to run into a shortfall, I'd go to the people. I'd do like Ronald Reagan. I'd go to the people and the taxpayers and see what we could work out.
Increasing taxes would always be the last option, no matter what. But the most important thing would be general maintenance, and that's the cheapest thing that we can do is just keep up our general maintenance.
So again, kind of going back to my career in maintenance, trying to maintain our budgets in maintenance and different things in the various factories is you always look for alternatives. Every place that I've ever went to, there's always somebody who says, well, this is what we do because it's the way we've always done it. And sometimes having a fresh set of eyes to look at something from an outside perspective can open up new opportunities to save money. You know, so in as far as taxes, and you know, I keep looking at this thing because this thing makes me nervous, but I am absolutely against raising taxes. I mean, if there was any other way, we're taxed enough. You know, and in the event that it come down to where it would have to be done, I'll be honest, I'd ask you, find out what you guys want to do. Do you want to raise taxes? Do we want to hold back on doing some other project? I mean, ultimately, it's your money. You tell me what you want to do with it. Thanks.
Well, and again, I think it just comes back to being proactive with things like health care for the county employees. You know, you can't wait until December to say, oh, we probably need to go look and see if we can find a cheaper quote somewhere. With open enrollment periods, with budgeting, with the budget approvals, and things like that, you have to be very, very proactive and look for those savings. So I've already said I'm not for new taxes. I'm fiscally conservative. I'm not for new taxes or a millage increase. The Bible tells us to be faithful stewards with what we've already been given, and the taxpayers you guys have already given us. And I think we just need to learn to be efficient with what we have already. And with inflation, whether you believe the federal government, whether it's 8.5% or 80%, seems like that's what it is. There's only one way to curb inflation, and that's to raise interest rates. So either way, we're going to be expected to do more with less. And whoever's the county judge needs to be very effective and very efficient and very proactive in how they handle the budget. And that's exactly what I'll do if I'm elected. Thank you.
County government in Arkansas was restructured by Amendment 55 to the Arkansas Constitution in January of 1977. The passage of Amendment 55 provided an avenue for individual counties to further restructure by a vote of the electorate, thereby giving each county the ability to grow and change with the will of the people. Changes for consideration may include department structural changes, consolidation of offices, separation of offices, and reassignment of duties to modernize county government. Do you have any thoughts or ideas about restructuring county government to facilitate a better local economy, efficiency, and effectiveness of your office?
I personally have no intention of restructuring any of the county offices. Some counties have consolidated titles and offices. I was reading that today in the Arkansas Constitution. I believe ours operates very well. If there became an issue to where they become overburdened, then that is something that we could certainly talk about with the court, with the taxpayers, and obviously, as it says in the amendment, it's done by a vote of the electorate. Right now, it's not broke. Let's don't try to fix it.
Well, from experience that I've seen in different counties, especially Clay County, you know, their sheriff is also their tax collector. So I'm going to ask Sheriff Bell back here. Sheriff, do you think you can collect our taxes for us? Did he? Well, I'm sure he would say, yeah, right. No, that's not a good idea. We can ask Clay County that. I can promise you they're struggling with that now. We don't need to consolidate any office with the sheriff or the collector or tax assessor or clerk or anybody. If you experience what I have experienced, go in their office, you're getting your money's worth out of the people that's in those offices. I promise you that. Thank you.
Well, I feel like a structure that we have is pretty effective, and it has done a good job. I don't know, sometimes we have to just learn things as we go. And I'd have to just try to dig in there and see, but it looks like sometimes we may have to fall back and see if we could get some grants for some things that would help us out in this kind of area. But I'm willing to look and learn and see what's out there.
I agree with these guys. I don't think that any consolidation is needed. The only thing I do see is I think more of our community should pull together, and all of our quorum court, city council, mayors, all of us need to work together to help better our whole community.
No, as far as the county offices, as far as I know right now, I don't see any reason to consolidate or change anything up. Now, obviously, when we get in there, each of us may see something different. Who knows? We can tell you right now, but when we were working with them hand in hand, we might see a reason to. But as for right now, I don't know what it is. So, thank you.
Well, I didn't know to study the Arkansas Constitution today, but anyways, I'm just like the rest of the candidates. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's that simple. Now, I've also learned in my life to never say never. So should the need arise at some point, obviously it may be something that we have to explore at some point. And some options are probably better than others. However, again, I go back to what I said. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, thank you.
Okay, this is the $1 million question. What are your plans for the county road system during your first 4-year term?
The key to any road is the drainage. End of story. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get out, we're going to assess the roads, we're going to assess the ditches, we're going to size the drainage structures, and that's how we're going to get started. During the 4-year terms, all roads are relative. We have 3 different distinct types of soils in our county and road bases. We have the old gumbo down at O'Kane. We've got the old sand-based roads up near the Black River, and then we've got the old clay and clay gravel roads up in the hills, and each one of them are a little diverse, and each one of them require different approaches. Again, the key, no matter to what road, is the drainage, and I've got a background in water hydrology, and that's what I intend to do to start the ball rolling.
I look back at our forefathers on this that built the county roads in Randolph County. You know, they started off building these roads by having the proper drainage, and that's a key factor in it, but it's also to have the proper type on the gravel roads, and that is clay gravel. It attacks to the road, it don't wash off in the ditches, it don't wash around. Then you come back and you can put your white chat there to keep it there. But you got to start working on the base of the road. When you build a house, you don't start at the top of the house, you start at the foundation. And that's what we got to do for our roads. It's the same perspective. Thank you.
Well, the roads in Randolph County are definitely a challenge. And I have an idea that I think will work. I've done some road work, and I can think if we can cone the roads up, get that where a cone is instead of a flat. If you get it coned up, the water can run off of it. We have a lot of water and damages all the time, every time you turn around, and that's why it's such a challenge. But in that road structure, if we get down there, we can get those roads coned up, get white rock on them, get that based in there, it'll be solid, and we don't have to worry about when you run over the road. I live on the gravel road myself, and this red clay slings up under there, sticks to your vehicle. It's hard to get off, and when you get it off, sometimes it tries to take the paint off. But if we get in there, fix the horns, fix these low water bridges, we can get this thing done with white rock and fix it. Thank you.
There's so many things that really need to be done. Randy was right about the dirt. You need good dirt over these big rock ledges and big rocks, and then gravel the top of it so it will hold. But there are many drainage issues that's going to have to be resolved. Also, I'd like to see the county get back to chipping and sealing some of our better paved roads. And I think the county needs a good laydown machine, and where we can do some better patching and better overlays. And it's going to take a long time to do it. There's over 1,200 miles of roads in Randolph County, so it's going to take a while to make a good improvement. So.
For me, the first thing, and I think we've already kind of talked about it, but the first thing is getting back to the PICO maintenance schedule, where the trucks come in the graders come in before the trucks, and then they touch them up again afterwards, so that we're not bouncing around all over the place after the PICO trucks come in and don't have a grader for 6 months. Other than that, secondary, like Mr. Carr and several others have said, watershed is key. Anywhere where you have water going across your road or standing in your road, you're going to have issues. So not only getting drainage ditches and tiles put in, but also a lot of our low water bridges. Whenever it rains, the water goes across them. But when the water goes down, what happened when it came across, it also cut the gravel out from the approach onto the bridge or off of it. So what we need to do, and my thought is that we need to extend the approach ramps out of the watershed so that I'm out of time. Sorry, thank you.
I'll tell you the best thing I can do for the county when it comes to the roads, and that's to hire a good road foreman and fight to get all of the resources and the tools that he needs to be successful at his job. I'm not a micromanager. The county judge, just like in that position or any of the other ones, I believe it's the position of the county judge should go to bat for every office, for every department, and get as many resources as we can, resource new equipment, things of that nature. But the best thing that I can do is let the road foreman do his job, and me handle the upper management of it. That's the best thing that I can do. Now you say, well, what if you don't have one? If I have to babysit the road foreman, then he probably wouldn't be my road foreman very long. So that's the best thing I can do for the roads in Randolph County. Thank you.
How's everybody doing? Sound good? Yeah. Good event. Thanks, guys. So far, so good. We're going to take about a 5-minute break so these guys can stretch their legs a little bit, maybe get something to drink, use the facilities. Feel free to walk around a little bit if you want to. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
The first question is for Mr. Carr. If elected as county judge, what kind of management style can your employees expect?
My best approach is always to have an open door policy with my employees. Sometimes they feel that they want to discuss something with you that's a little bit more private or personal, and at that time you want to have their choice as to how you want to proceed with their dilemma. Personnel policy is something that I have helped to draft at state level, and I hope that it's all squared away at the county level. I'll start each week early of a morning, and I'll go out and I'll visit with the road crew and the county foreman, and then throughout the day at a selected time, I'll take an opportunity to visit with every elected official on a weekly basis. May just be in passing. If they've got something to talk about, then I certainly want to hear what their concerns are. They'll handle their own employee issues, and it's just that simple. So again, I thank you for your time. Thank you.
So, Mr. Barber, question number 2 is for you. Many people, especially those who live on a county road, see the position of county judge as the person who takes care of the roads. While this is a valid designation, how would you describe the full position of county judge?
That's a tough one there. And the reason why I say that, it's like I said earlier, it's like a piece of pie. Excuse me. That's only a part of the pie the county roads are. To be a judge, you got to take care of the budget. You got to work with the elected officials. You got to take care of the property. You know, we can go on. You're in total support of all elected people, elected positions, I should say. So, you know, there's the responsibility of the county judge is to have good communication skills with other people. And, you know, there's going to be times that the county judge has to talk to people, and I want the public to know, I want the workers to know, that my door is always open because you employ me. I work for the people of Randolph County. So that's who I'm working for. So that door is open, and I'll have that door open for my employees as well too. And the county judge, you know, has to be able to think out of the box a little. You know, he's also got to worry.
Mr. Barber, your time's up.
All right. Vote for Randy Barber. All right, thank you.
Mr. Rogers, the city operates an animal control department. Would you have plans in your administration to introduce animal control services to the county?
Well, I would be firm but fair and try to work with people wherever it might be and whatever the circumstances may be. But we want to be firm with people, want to be fair with people, want to work with them, but it's the taxpayers' money. So we want to do the best that we could.
Please describe the ideal relationship between the county judge, the quorum court, and the city mayors of Randolph County.
We all have to have the same goal in mind. We need to be working on all cylinders. All of us, we have to have just our community in mind. That's the idea. That's the ideal relationship. Just all of us working together.
Mr. Burden, next question's for you. What do you consider to be the greatest priority and largest threat to our county? How will you address these concerns?
You know, I think as far as our greatest priority, I think it's our potential for growth. And I would, talk with the Chamber of Commerce and other departments to try to, like I said earlier, try to bring in new businesses and grow the existing businesses that we have. As far as our greatest threat, this county's experienced 2 major floods, and I know that a lot of that's already been addressed, and I need to think that we need to stay on top of that. 30 seconds, my time's up. Thank you.
If you were not a candidate, of the others running, who would you support and why? I didn't write the question.
Look at the drawing.
I will say this. I will not mention any one candidate by name. I believe every candidate up here has certain qualities and things that they bring to the table. And no matter if I'm elected or they are elected, which most of us have already told each other, if we are elected, that each one will do whatever we can to help the other one. And that's what I pledge to do, whether or not I'm elected or not. I want to see Randolph County succeed. I want to see whoever's in that position to succeed, because if they succeed, we succeed. And that's how I view it.
The next question goes to Mr. Carr. Considering recent flooding, what are your thoughts on the work that has been done to the county levee system in Randolph County? And moving forward, what would you do to further mitigate severe flooding in our county?
Again, I've got a background in water hydrology. I've spent a career doing that. There are a lot of issues here at stake. The levy board is a group of 3 people that are one appointed by the county judge of each Randolph and Lawrence County, and then the other one is a selected position by an agreement of the 2. The drainage districts are incrementally split out around the county through Foshee River, through running water, through all of those. And all of those drainage district members are part of the landowners in that area. So they work within themselves, and they all are under the direction of the levy board or the county judge or whatever, and all of those appointments are made by the county judge. First order of business that I'm going to do is reopen communications, try to reestablish communications with the Corps of Engineers. Back in 2017 and shortly thereafter with the previous judge
Carr, your
and
time's
the previous
up.
mayor. I'm sorry.
Your time's up.
Thank you.
Do you consider promoting existing county businesses as well as new business development part of the job duties of the county judge? If so, what steps would you take in these areas?
Definitely, it's part out of the county judge to bring new businesses in and to help the Chamber of Commerce. You know, we're a strong county right now, and we can succeed in bringing new business, and we got to be more vocal about it, and we got to work with the Chamber of Commerce, and we also got to work with the mayors in our other towns. That will help bring those businesses into Randolph County that we need. So I'm totally, yes, county judge has got to do that. Thank you.
Ms. Callie, are you still here? She's going to let you know that she's in the building, I promise you. Ms. Callie, to answer that question, I would like to follow up what Randy said about the question, is it important to the judge to promote commerce and businesses? Absolutely it is. Matter of fact, I think it's very, very important for leaders to promote small businesses in our area, because small businesses are the backbone of our community. And I support them. I try to glorify them. I try to, you know, there's a lot of good businesses. There's a lot of good people that does a lot of great things. Now, I will say that there's a lot of different opinions about the Chamber of Commerce. However, I will say that Ms. Callie is a great choice. She is very motivated to do the job, and if the county and the Chamber of Commerce can get on the same sheet of music, again, everybody wins. So if y'all have any questions about the Chamber of Commerce and what it can do for you, Ms. Callie is a great resource, and she's a great lady, and my time's probably up, so thank y'all.
Mr. Barber, do you have anything to add to that? Do you have anything to add to what Mr. Derrick said?
Only to reiterate, you know, a county judge's responsibility to work with the community at all facets and use the assets that he has in the county. And that's with the other small business as well as the Chamber of Commerce. It's key to unite with those smaller towns to bring those in. And also with the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, that's the reason why they're there. Thank you.
Mr. Rogers, next question's for you. How should the county judge interact with state legislators and candidates from a different political party or philosophy?
Well, we would have to get them on the horn, get a place designated to meet, sit down with them, see what you could work out, see what's going on, and see where we are. A lot of things are going to be answered by being able to look straight across the table from one another, sit down, talk about it, see what's going on, see what's available, and go from there.
He's a lot in what he said, but as a county judge, you represent the county that you live in. In my time as running for county judge, I've already laid the groundwork to our legislators and also to our people in Little Rock. And for information to flow there and to flow back. And I believe that you got to be able to extend the hand across the line and work. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Independent, Republican, Green Tea Party, or whatever. This is Randolph County, and I'm going to represent the people of Randolph County. Thank you.
Mr. Wicker.
Where's Trey at? Is Trey still here? Trey, raise your hand. Mr. Woolrich, would you raise your hand? He's representing his son, Jeremy Woolrich, who's running for the District 1 state representative, which is Maynard, North Pocahontas, kind of around that area. Where's Miss Hazel at? Is she still here? So Trey and Hazel and Marsh Davis are the three that's running for our District 1. Jeremy Woolrich, if you don't know him, get to know him. He's a great guy, and he is definitely what we need in District 1. Get to know our candidates. It's important because one of these two people right here will be one of the ones that's carrying our voice to Little Rock. So I think it's important to get to know them, know what they stand for, and encourage them.
Your time's up.
Thank you. God bless.
Mr. Burden. Yep. What is your plan for your first 100 days in office?
My first 100 days in office, first thing that I'm going to do is I will get in touch with each and every one of the district or the department heads and talk to them and find out what their needs are. Let's find out where they are, what struggles they're having, where the county can help and assist in getting them up to speed where they need to be. Not only just the department heads, but with the city mayors, city councils, anything where the county has the ability to help, that'll be my first priority.
This is our last question for Mr. Derrick. At the time of your inauguration, you will swear to uphold the laws and liberties of Randolph County. This is an enormous responsibility and will require your time and effort to learn the information. What is your plan for personal growth and learning of all the laws and processes of the office?
Well, first, I think you need to be a lifelong learner. I still read, I still study. Actually, I've downloaded I've already went on the Association of Arkansas Counties website. I've downloaded several different manuals, one of them being for the county judge. I've started studying it. And a part of that will be is I believe that you can glean a lot of information and a lot of wisdom and knowledge for those that are already serving in the office. And so I have reached out to some of the other surrounding county judges that have been doing this for a while. Obviously, Judge Jansen would be a great resource, and glean those things from them, and continue to use the things that they've learned, the lessons they've learned, and work and build from that. So that's what I would do. Thank you.
First when I get elected or whoever gets elected as the county judge, it's a big responsibility. And you take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the state of Arkansas. And I plan to do that. And I have also have held other offices where I've had to do the same thing. It's a big time of change in Randolph County. We're busy. We see all the traffic. And, we got to unite and come together for the mayors and the elected officials. I won't have the learning curve as the other candidates do here tonight. I've been involved in our government here as being on the quorum court. I understand the process, so I won't have the learning curve as they will. You know, it's hard. Time's up. Yeah, tell you. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was a good part there. So this next segment is the audience questions. So we've had Preacher Pat. She's been our question screener, and what she has done is she has taken your questions at the table at the back and simply screen them, not for anything other than appropriate to what we're here for tonight, and adequacy as far as does it reveal information that you as the electorate need to know. So there's not any I don't like that or anything. It's just simply for time and application is what the screening process.
We have 5 questions from the audience, and these are all for every candidate. There are no individual questions. So the first question is, what is the biggest change you would like to see if elected?
The biggest change I'd like to see as the county judge is to try to make a cohesive group out of all of our county elected offices, all of our employees, and the biggest change we need to make is retainment of those employees. Not all pay in the county offices are equal. Some feel that they've been slighted a little bit. We need to work on that. Our insurance costs are through the roof, as they are everywhere else. We need to work on that situation. We have a lot of opportunity to come together to tackle the challenges that we face with the positive, sustained economic growth that we're experiencing.
Well, there's a list of things that need to be changes in the function of how we properly maintain our gravel roads. And I'm acceptable to change because some of that needs to change. Also, most of the county government, you got to move in the same direction. All of it, I should say. The county's got to move in the same direction, and that is with every department. You got to lift a hand, and you got to work with the sheriff when he needs the hand, and when he needs money, for certain deals, the county judge has got to help him ascertain that. Because we all know that we have problems, drug problems, and some other problems for law enforcement, and that's creating havoc in Randolph County. So extend that hand to them. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to see a change in our emergency evacuation plan. I'd like to see us have an emergency evacuation plan with shelters go in. Right now, we've got a madman loose. He's Adolf Hitler #2. And if we were hit with a biological warfare or if tornadoes come through as we've had lately, we don't have a place to go. And folks, I'll tell you, to me, you can fix all the roads you want, you can upgrade all this other stuff, but however good they are, if you're not here to use them, it doesn't make any difference. So I'd like to see us get serious about that, look for a grant and try to go after it so we'd have a safe place for mom and dad to take their kids, moms and dads to go in, and the list goes on. Thank you.
Biggest change I would like to see is I would like to see our county and our cities, all of our little towns. I would like to see us all come together as our community should, pull all of our resources together and work together. Like I said earlier, if we're working like a well-oiled machine, we'll get a lot more accomplished.
So, biggest change that I would like to see. Okay, well, we've talked about the roads and things. Yes, all that stuff needs to happen. But all in all, like I said earlier, I love Randolph County. I love it the way that it is for the most part. Yes, we need to, our different cities, we all need to be working together. We need job growth, obviously. But as far as a drastic change, I like our county. I think that we need to maintain what we have and just improve on it.
The one thing that I would like to see change, first and foremost, is I would like to lead the change to get away from an us versus them mentality. It's not the county versus Pocahontas. It's not Pocahontas versus Maynard. It's not Maynard versus Reno or anything else. So what I would like to see is Ben talked about it for just a second, is cooperation, communication, networking, sharing ideas and thoughts and things that work together so that we can come together as Randolph County and our communities and help each other. Because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is to love your neighbor as yourself. And that's how I'll operate. So thank you.
Where do you stand on local preservation?
As everyone probably knows, my wife is knee-deep in genealogy, heritage, and our community. We've been involved in restoring the little church up on the family farm. Heritage and our old buildings and things are something that we need to be proud of. We are awful proud of what we have. I think those things need to be preserved. There's a system of grants out there available that we can pursue to help us keep those up. Maintenance of those is another key factor. We need to support anyone who's maintaining all of these buildings. That's about covers it in a nutshell. Thank you.
Oh, we got to extend the hand out, and I think we do it in Randolph County. You know, we have several places in the county, at Dalton, at Maynard, Pioneer Days. You know, here in Pocahontas, we have it, our old courthouse. You know, we got to preserve those. We got to keep those. And I'm in all favor of doing that. Thank you.
Well, as we look back at about Pioneer Days up at Maynard, to see the old railroad track down there, the old caboose, and I'd like for us to look back in the past history and see what we have, bring it up, and maybe even update some things that we've all missed. My grandmother was one of those people that kept up with things. She looked back things, and I think about those things. We all need to look back and see what we can put our heads together, and what would we like to see out there for people that come by and visit, for those that live there. What would we like to have out there that catch people's eye and they say, I like that, I'd like to see that. We're capable of doing that. Pocahontas is able to do that. All we need to do is look back in the past and see what it's are, bring it up and get it done.
I agree 100% with these guys on our preservation of our historical buildings and such. I think we need to keep our maintenance up on them and keep them alive for our children.
Yeah, I agree. Like we've said, our historic buildings and our historic sites, they're important. They are our heritage. They're where we came from. They're what we're about. We always like to talk about the good parts of our history, but there's bad parts out there too. And we need to protect those just as much as we protect the good ones, because if you forget and you get rid of your old history, you're destined to repeat it, whether it's good or bad. So, if it's something that we don't like about it, we need to explain why we don't like it, but not destroy it.
This one's pretty easy for me because I'm a history major, so I naturally enjoy history. So not only do I think that we need to preserve it, but I believe that we need to promote it. And Randolph County has a lot of history. There's a lot here, and I think it needs to be promoted and be able to share that with other people that's coming through visiting or whatever the case is. Rodney's doing a great job with the Heritage Museum, and not only that, there's a saying that says if you don't learn from your history, you're bound to repeat it. And I think when we learn about our history, it helps us to respect, which is something that I think that we need in this generation today, learn to respect those that came before us and the efforts and the sacrifices that they made. So that's where I feel about it, and if I'm elected, I'll open the courthouse up to all people. So,
how would your current or most recent employer describe your work ethic?
My work ethic. I got up a lot of days and I went to work sick. A lot of you have. When I retired from the highway department just a few weeks ago, I returned over 1,500 hours of sick leave. That's a little bit tough to do, but that's ethic. I'm a driven individual. I get focused on a project. I want to complete that. I had 4 letters of merit through the highway department have received just so many blessings from being there and have so many friends. I would say that my recommendation from the Highway Department would be above board. Thank you.
You know, as I stand here today, I've had many bosses, and I've worked for Randolph County as a deputy sheriff. I've never got rolled up, dishonored in any way by the sheriff. You know, my former boss that I work for now, I've never had no complaints, and I've always worked hard. I've had that integrity ever since I was a little boy to be able to accomplish that. You know, and I think everybody that I have worked for, call them. You ask them. You know, Todd Hickenbottom's his name from Jonesboro. You know, Rob Salmon's the sheriff you can call. You can call anybody you want. I'm pretty well known in the county, so, and I think they'll tell you that the type of person I am. I'm trustworthy, I'm honest, and you know, when I tell you something, if I tell you that chicken is smoking cigarettes over there, you can lift up his wings and find a pack of cigarettes. That's the type of guy I am. Thank you.
Well, I've been self-employed for a long time, other than I'm a bivocational pastor. And I think if you check with the people there at Shannon Baptist Church and the people that know me, I try to do my best to have character and integrity. And if we win this election, that's the way I want to do it, with honesty and integrity. And I think I'm not going to put myself on a pedestal, but I do try to do my best. And if I'm elected for county judge, I'm going to do the same thing there. Thank you.
I actually received the best city employee last year. So I hope to think that the mayor, wherever he is, if he's still in here, that he would say the same thing. I take pride in my work. I was taught that from a young boy. You got to have pride in what you do. I try to be respectable to everybody and my employees, and especially my boss and the residents of the city. I think that's all we need to do, is just be respectful to each other.
So the question is, how would my current employer rank me? Well, he's an awesome guy. He's above board. Did I mention I'm self-employed? Okay. No, seriously though, you know, there are people in this room that I've actually done work for. Not a whole lot, but there are a few. You can ask them, and you know, feel free. But I believe that through the work that I've done, I've always been above board. I treat people fairly. I don't have much time, but as a matter of fact, when we were at the poultry event in Maynard, I had a man come to me from a business that I worked at 20 years ago, asking me if I would be interested in coming back. So that's the kind of person that I want to be as county judge. So thank you.
Well, my first employer is to the Lord Jesus Christ. The Bible says to do all that you do unto the Lord, and I try to approach every day and everything that I do with that mentality. And Miss Suzanne sits right there. I will attest that Ben is what he says he is. He's a great worker. I see him every day, and you won't find a better guy, and you won't find a better apple pie anywhere either, by the way. Great guy. So really, that's just my motto. That's my standard. And, you know, I went as high as I could in the ranks in the Army. And, you know, again, at the end of the day, I just work as if I'm working for the Lord and try to do what's right by Him and honor and glorify Him. And if I do that, then I think I'm successful. And I think that anybody that knows me would probably say the same thing. So, thank you.
Mr. Carr, what would you describe as being your greatest weakness?
I really think my greatest weakness is patience. I'm an impatient person. I want to get something accomplished, and I need to learn to count to 15 other than 10. So with that said, I roll up my sleeves every morning. I get up early, I catch the worm, and I take myself to work. So that's what I'm going to continue to do, and hopefully take more time with my family in the future. Thank you.
Oh, my greatest weakness. Oh, truthfully, it would probably be smoking a cigarette. You know, I quit for 20 years, and my dad asked me to before he died, so that's what I done. And I started about 9-10 months ago. So, you know, I don't know if this has got anything to do with it or not, but I tell my wife often, you know, I'm just under a little pressure, just under a little stress, you know. I was told by an English teacher, you know, when you're giving a speech to look at somebody in the crowd and imagine them in their underwear. Well, guys, we all got older. You know, I can't do that anymore. Thank you. God bless you.
Well, my greatest weakness probably is I lost my wife 20 months ago, and half of me is gone. And that weakened me down. But I've looked in the mirror, and I've looked up above, and I said, Lord, I need some help here. And he said, all right, I'm going to try to use you somewhere. And so that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to try to win this county judge race, try to get in there for you and make you a good county judge. But my weakness probably, other than the ones I mentioned to you, is probably being able to stay away from the table.
That's actually a pretty tough question, but I'm going to say mine is probably caring. I think I tend to care too much. I don't like to see things go to waste. I like to just be happy and frugal with everything I do. So, thank you.
All right, my greatest weakness, if I really had to pin it down, I guess it would be that I want to try to please people. I want to try to empathy, sympathy for people and their issues, and sometimes I want to spend a little bit more time than maybe I necessarily need to trying to figure out a way to help somebody. I guess you could call that a weakness, but anyway, thanks.
I wouldn't even begin to even tell you my greatest, what was the question again? Weakness, there you go. Listening's probably one of them, I don't know. I have so many, but I'm thankful that I serve a God that forgives and restores. If I had to say one, I would say probably that I try to help too much. And sometimes my family takes a big toll for that because I'm out helping others and they sacrifice the most. So I'm thankful for them. And so I love my family, and I couldn't even begin to tell you. I mess more stuff up than I get right, but I just learn from my mistakes and keep moving. So thank you.
What is your vision for Randolph County?
I've got a few notes on that. Our county has had continual sustainable growth in our population in the last few years. That continued growth helps us to increase our tax base, to provide better services, provides more tourism is one of the factors that we can glean from that, and the opportunity for our constituents. So my visions also are safer roads, which has always been my vision, are the vision of our interstate connection is looming large in my heart. And the other one is a commercial truck relocation out of our neighborhoods. So those are what I feel are our opportunities.
It's a big vision that I have for Randolph County. You know, as we stand here on the banks of the 11 Point River, I'm proud to say, as a quorum court member and also as all the elected officials, you know, we have a safety program in for our rivers, and you know, it's a special place here, Randolph County, 5 rivers. you know, that we have recreational, we have fun in. There's a lot of things that we can get better. But for us changing Randolph County, I love the people that's in Randolph County for what they are. And we're well diversified here, and I love that. And, you know, we can make improvements in a lot of different areas. And if I'm elected as your county judge, I'm going to make those changes, and I'm going to help the people that's in those other elected officials, in those other positions. I'm going to help them to achieve their goals as too.
My vision for Randolph County is to see it grow, prosper. People want to stay here and reside here, build here. And the greatest thing I'd like to see us happen here would be the greatest thing we could ever have, and that's a good revival and see people saved from the Lord Jesus Christ.
I would like to see better and safer roads, more industry, and that's about it, really. I want to see our county prosper.
My vision for Randolph County is that this county would grow, both, like I've said before, as far as for jobs, that we have increased jobs and more opportunities, but at the same time maintaining the beauty of this county. And, you know, for our children and our grandchildren and on down the road, you know, I want Randolph County to be a place that, one, people stay, and not only people stay, but people move to and or want to move to because of the opportunity and the beauty that surrounds them. Thank you.
My vision for Randolph County is pretty simple. I'd like to continue to work on the sense of pride. I want people to have pride in the government. I want people to have pride in their communities. And I want to have a collective sense of pride in Randolph County. I want us to be proud to be from Randolph County. And that's my vision, very simply. So thank you.
Well done, gentlemen, and thank you all for coming here. We have one more segment. It's simply just a closing statements by each of the candidates. For this segment, we're just going to switch it up just to give somebody some fresh legs here. So we're going to start from the reverse. So Ben Derrick will be the first to give his closing comments here. Give him a couple of minutes, right? Okay, thank you.
Well, first, I'd just like to say thank y'all for sticking with us tonight. I know it's been a long night, and I appreciate everybody's attentiveness and your support. There's no doubt that each one of us up here offers different things. We have different strengths, different weaknesses, different backgrounds. And, you know, and again, I pledge, whether I'm elected or not, to make sure that they're successful because I want the county to be successful. I am running on change. I'm an innovative thinker. I'm an out-of-the-box thinker. I'm very proactive, and I'm very efficient in how and the way that I do things. And again, I would just like to thank everybody. Thank the Chamber of Commerce for coming out tonight, and thank each one of my fellow candidates. And again, thank each one of y'all. And I just ask for your support in the upcoming election. Thank you, and God bless.
So again, just like Ben just said, you know, we've got some great candidates up here, and you know, you guys have got a tough choice. But you know, I think each and every one of us up here, we're here because we love this county, because we want to help this county, and because we feel that we're qualified to be able to do it. You know, so with that being said, again, I want to thank everybody and thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. Hope that we've given you some information that you can go home and think about and kind of decide where you're going as far as the votes. But I thank you guys very much, and God bless everybody.
As county judge, there'd be several things I'd like to see done. Number one, I'd like to start a CDL program to get our employees into the BRTC CDL program. It's almost mandatory. It is mandatory now that anybody that has a CDL has to go through the college course. So that being said, it's hard to get CDL drivers to come to work at these lower paying jobs. There's a tremendous amount of work that's got to be done. You know, like I said earlier, there's over 1,200 miles of roads in Randolph County. There's just so much to do, and whoever gets elected, it doesn't matter who it is up here, it's going to take time to make very much progress. So, and that being said, thank you all for coming out tonight, and I really want to thank my family for being here and supporting me. Thank you all.
Well, I have respect for all these fellows, and I certainly do, and I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. And you know, they asked a question a little earlier about some of the old things, provisions, and keeping things up in Randolph County. I'd like to share something with you right fast. And a fellow asked me today as I come in, and he asked about one of my uncles, my mother's brother. If you go by the memorial down there in the court square, that Vietnam veteran there holding that M60 machine gun with all that ammo hanging down on there, that's my mother's brother, Colonel Jesse Johnson. He's a Special Forces commander. He's the highest decorated officer as of 4 years ago in the state of Arkansas, and he was inducted into Hall of Valor in Little Rock. In that, I'd like to say, as you go by there, folks, if it wasn't for the veterans, Randolph County wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for the veterans, Pocahontas wouldn't be here. James Ranch wouldn't be here. You and I wouldn't be here. So I want y'all to all remember that. Pray for these veterans. All of them are in harm's way. All of us, everyone that served, they deserve the prayers that we give you. Thank you, and God bless you.
I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight and listening to us. You know, I've always kind of preached to the choir a little bit. As a quorum court member, you know, I love having a crowd, and I love to discuss things with them. And it's a pleasure to see y'all here tonight because y'all are interested in our county government, and that's the way it needs to be. You know, I talk tonight, I'm the complete pie. You know, I got the experience, I've got the knowledge, I got the leadership ability. And you know, with working with the people I have for is on the quorum court, the Maynard School Board, the Deputy Sheriff, the Arkansas National Guard, and with my former employee now, you know, I've accomplished a lot in my lifetime that I'm proud of, and I'm proud of my dad for raising me for the man that I am today. I will be a public servant to you, like I have most of my adult life, and my door will always be open. You can come and talk to me, and you know, I contribute myself as one of the best communicators and being able to get things done for our county. And we got to be able to do that. The county judge has got to be able to push that and make it happen. I'm an easygoing guy. I love my family, and I love Randolph County. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone that's come out tonight. I'd like to thank the candidates behind me for their input and for their dedication. I'm going to finish this statement that I started earlier before that light started going off. So I'm also a member of the Board of Directors of the Randolph County Chamber of Commerce. We got a lot of good things going on over there right now. As the county judge, I will work arm in arm with all the elected officials. I spent 12 years in Raven Springs as a city council, city council person, and kind of proud of that. I was forced to resign from that when I went to work for the state. It's been a while ago. I already possess the connections to the state agencies and to the Capitol. I've been a resident of Randolph County for 45 years. I've been married to my wife for 43 years. When you get me, you get her. We're a team. And I appreciate all your responses and the questions that you've given us tonight. Y'all drive safe getting home. God bless.
I don't know the outcome of this election, but I do know that they all will have more votes come November than they did before this event tonight. Well done, each and every one of you, well done. So thank you for coming. We have gone about 2.5 hours, which was at the top end of what we had expected to do. It's getting late, and I know that all of you are tired, but the saying goes, when you catch a tiger by the tail, don't let it go. So what I'm going to do is just for 2 minutes, if the elected or if the candidates running for other offices would like to just come and introduce themselves and have just a few comments. If not, no problem at all. And again, appreciate everyone's continued patience. Drive safe at home. But if you'd like, who would like to run in a race? Just come up and say hi for a minute. Let me get a show of hands here. Okay, Sherry, Jim, Trey, Hazel, Kevin. Okay. Kevin's walking this way. Why don't you start?
Can we get a pie in the sheriff's face?
Yeah. Which one of y'all want a pie in your face tonight? No, I want to tell you something. I appreciate all these guys for running, and I mean, we got to hand it to them. They didn't get in a fist fight up here tonight. I didn't have to drag anybody out. It was very civil, so let's give them a hand for that. You see what happens in Washington, D.C. when everybody's fighting amongst each other, but we don't do that here in Randolph County. We try to keep it civil, and we focus on the issues and not on each other, and I appreciate that. But I'm Kevin Bell. I'm your current Randolph County Sheriff running for re-election this year, and I won't take up much of your time, but I'd appreciate your support. Thank you.
Gentlemen, great job. I first have to say, and Trey will confirm this, you did not take nearly as long as we did in Fulton County, which took 4 hours for us to do a candidate. So kudos to you, the moderators, and thank you so much. So my name is Hazel Marie Whited, and I'm running for State Rep, District 2, which is for you, it's Pocahontas proper is pretty much where it goes, and then up to Raventon Spring. It cuts out actually Maynard, and Dalton is not in our area, so give you perspective. But I just wanted to introduce myself. I do live in Cherokee Village, but I wanted to say that I have been in Randolph County now since I announced in November for about once a week, and have really enjoyed getting to know the people, getting to know the history. I have been to the Heritage Museum. I have actually been to the old courthouse and looking forward to your 150th anniversary. So excited about that. The Eddie Maharon Center, of course, with the Pie Festival and the wonderful pie event at the end. Pie in the face was the greatest thing I've seen. But I just wanted to let you know that I will work hard for you. And even though I do not live in Randolph County, I feel like I am a part of Randolph County. So rest assured that I will be here serving you in your interest and getting to know all the things that you need done in Little Rock, because I intend to really make sure that my counterparts in District 1, in District 3, 28, 27, 30, I believe is Fran Kavanaugh's, I'm making sure we band together for rural Arkansas, because we really need to have a voice, and that is the only way to get it done. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to talking with you.
Trey Steimel, run for District 2 State Representative. I'm somewhat of a lifer here in Randolph County, but a lot of y'all know me, but what y'all don't understand is what I'm going to do as a representative is a lot of y'all get up here and they'll say, this is what I'm going to do for the people. That's not me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to the local community, the community leaders, and ask them what they need from their representative. That is me in a nutshell, and that's what I'm going to do when I go down and represent y'all down in Little Rock. I know it's been a long night, so God bless.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Tim Wooldridge. I live in Paragould, and I'm sure all of you vacation over there. My son, Jeremy, this is an honor of a life. If you've had children do things that you're proud. My son, Jeremy, wants to be your state representative for District 1. And the reason he wants to be is because, and this makes Dad proud, he wants to make sure those that seem or appear or think that they're voiceless have a voice. He wants to be someone that goes to Little Rock and represents and articulates the desires and the needs and the opportunities of District 1 in such a way that they will recognize that the state line does not end in North Little Rock. Do you agree? And I want you to know that he's going to spend a lot. You're not going to just see him when he's running for office. I spent 16 years in the Senate, and every Saturday of all 16 years of every session, I had a town hall meeting somewhere in my district, and I told him, you don't just get elected, then you legislate, and then you stay in touch with people. So I promise you, if he's not here on a regular basis, you call me and I'll tell his mother. God bless you all. Jeremy Wooldridge, State Representative. Thank you.
Before I introduce myself, I have a question. Did anybody think Randy was going to say him and that chicken was talking and decided to both quit smoking? It's been going through my head ever since he said that. Anyway, my name is Sherry Husky. I am your Randolph County Treasurer. I have been in the office for 21 years and your county treasurer since 2009. I think I have served with honor and integrity, honesty, and I support your past support, and I'm asking for your support this November. Thank you.
Hello, I am Stacy Ingram, your Randolph County Assessor. I'm just going to be short. I've been here 26 years in the county, 10 of those as assessor. I enjoy my job. I work hard for the people, and I've got the experience to do the job. And just ask for your votes in November.
But I'm running for your city clerk treasurer position, and I'm glad to be here. These gentlemen have presented themselves so well, and I think, see, here I go, Callie Shore. I am going to get you. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself, though. So I did not make this decision hastily in running for this. I have thought about it long and hard, and ultimately the decision is that I came to this because I feel like I am led to do it. I think that every journey that you take through your life, every step that you take, every challenge that you overcome leads you to something, and it's led me here. And I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for all the support that I've received so far. I will tell you that I feel like I have a couple of things. I'm a little bit extra humble sometimes. I'm competitive, but I'm humble. So that's a little bit hard for me because I don't toot my horn a lot. But I will tell you that I've worked for the largest retailer in the world, and I've worked here at Waterloo Industries for the largest tool storage manufacturer in the world until the plant closed. And I carried multiple positions, and I started at the bottom and worked my way up through hard work. I'm not afraid of a challenge, and I would not be standing here today if I didn't feel very comfortable and confident in myself that I'm exactly what you need right now. I will also tell you that if you don't vote for me, and this is not what I'm chosen to do, that's okay, because God has a plan for me anyway. I just feel like right now the plan is to do this and to try to move forward. Suzanne has done a phenomenal job, and it would be a pleasure to follow in her footsteps because she has set forth steps and moved forward in that position, and I feel like I would like to continue to move forward in that position and also leave something later for the city as well. So I appreciate all of you having me here, and I look forward to talking to all of you, and if you have any questions, let me know.
So my name is Jamie Tyler. Some of you know me. My husband is running for JP9. We believe that in this city, in this town, in this county, your government starts with the JPs. That is your first line for people to reach out to so that you can get stuff done in your district. Chris Tyler, JP9, he is a Christian conservative. He is a great leader in my house, and I'm very proud to have him be our representative. Please vote for him. He won't be in the ballot this coming election because he's doing independent, but he will be there in November, and we would appreciate your vote if you're in our district.
Randolph County is worth competing over.
Amen.
It's worth. This is a special place all around, and the people are at the center of that. So thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for spending your time. Please drive safe on the way home. Don't forget to stop at the ranch house on the way out and grab a bite to eat. I know everybody's hungry there. So God bless you all. God bless Randolph County. Thank you for coming.